A few months ago, we were on top of a mountain. It was icy, we had an accident, and we've been waiting on our appointment to go in to get the repairs done to the side of the van. Many of you that have seen us have said, I recognize that dent. Well, after this week, you won't recognize the dent.
But before we take it in, we're going to have to take all the stuff off the back.
And by the way, I'm Owen.
And I'm Lynn.
We're Van Trekking Lifestyle. Follow along as we get this van repaired. First thing that has to come off is the trasharoo bag. We're thinking it's going to be the easiest thing to take off, but we're going to make it more difficult by trying to leave everything in the bag as we do it. So Lynn's going to help me.
And then I'm going to hold up the bag.
We're going to get all this. Everything's off on that side?
Yep.
Lift it up. Whoa, Bob's your uncle. That was pretty easy.
Yep. So here's the hook. We're going to take this off the ladder.
Next thing we have to do, because the shop we're taking it to has a pretty low roof, we're going to take the ladder off and leave it here as well. It'll be just one less thing for them to have to tape up and to keep from getting paint on. So now we need to empty this box. We're not going to try to take it off with contents in it because it's pretty heavy.
But first you got to take the griddle off the top.
That's right.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, I ran it through there.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. During one of our legs of our last journey, I forgot to put the straps over the griddle, but it did make it to the next location. So now I have to go get the keys so we can unlock that. We do keep it locked when we're traveling, and it's just one more deterrent.
He showed me which key it is, so I'm going to try it and see if I can make it work.
Friggin' not right. I had a hammer. I was going to make it work. How did you do that?
I turned it both ways. I did one way and then did another way.
Wow.
And it was the other way that worked.
Hammer would have worked too. So here's what's in there. Lynn says, don't show it to everybody. This is a good time to clean out your box. It is a little tighter behind here because during the accident the hinge got bent in this thing, so it's a little closer to the door. So we've got a little bit more finagling to do to get it off. So the next step is to take the Owl Vans Sherpa off. And in order to do that, I've got to take this inside panel off.
Pretty close, I don't see it much anymore.
Okay. All right, so next is take the 4 bolts off that hold the Sherpa to the back. Okay, so the Sherpa's off. Everything's ready now on the back to head into the shop. I'm going to climb up on the roof next.
So we're taking the wee boost down. Instead of taking it all the way off and messing with all the wiring and stuff, he's just going to lay it down and he's attaching it to the Max Tracks with zip ties. It also looks like a bomb exploded inside the van. I'm going to let Owen explain that to you in just a little bit.
So the main reason we did this instead of just taking this off all the way is I have it wired all the way up through the rail. I don't want to have to take it off, and we don't have to remove it any other time. So we're just going to leave the mount here. We'll zip tie the antenna up here so it can ride flat, It's not the highest point anymore on the top of the van. And I think, other than my other chore I didn't know about, I think I'm ready to crank it up tomorrow morning, take it in and get this dent repaired. Let's get off of here. So, you know, Lynn mentioned that back here it looks like a bomb went off, and there's a particular reason for that. It wasn't something we planned for, but let me show you what happened. It has to do with the bench seat, specifically what's under the bench seat. When we got home 2 nights ago, we noticed there was some water coming out, and I thought maybe I hadn't closed the gray tank tight enough, and so that's where the water was coming from. So I closed it. The next day, it wasn't that at all. We had developed what many develop in a 2021 Revel, a leak, specifically with the L joints that are in here in the water lines. They're plastic, and they use these little cinch clamps, and while it's easy for them to do and repeatable at the factory, it is the cheapest way that they could put it together, and it's subject to breaking. Now, we didn't go off-road at all during this trip. We didn't hit any large potholes. We didn't drive across a lot of things that should be shaking this up, but it worked its way loose, and we had one leak occur. Somewhere in life, you always seem to turn into your dad. And I can remember my dad, anytime he tried to fix something, it got to where my mom would say, just don't do it. Because anytime he'd try to fix something, 2 or 3 other things would break in the process. You know, you'd try to repair something on the lawnmower, and pretty soon you just end up buying a new lawnmower. We don't want to buy a new van, but I did laugh because the same thing happened to me. I fixed the one leak, I got it repaired, but in getting that cinch clamp off and moving things around and moving the pipes, well, 2 other ones started leaking after that. So I turned it back on. The one I fixed is perfect, but 2 other ones in a more difficult place to get to are leaking now. So I had to take every bit of this platform off, not just raise the seat, but I had to take the seat platform off, the back off, because we need to get all the way in underneath the shower to fix what's broken. And that's what I'm going to do today. Long explanation, but I guess in a lot of ways my dad probably felt the same way, I bet. You know, I didn't mean to screw up the whole lawnmower just trying to change the spark plug. It happens to us guys though, doesn't it? Now the problem with working in here is you need to probably be more comfortable working in a circus as a contortionist to be able to get in here and do all this. So you can see here I've removed one of the clamps. I've loosened another one down here, and I'll do my best to remove it as well. So there's the clip. If you watch a video on how to remove these, it's pretty simple. You take the entire pipe off and you cut it and you replace the pipe. But I'm not willing to reroute everything in here yet unless I have to. So I'm going to do a different method. So I've got to repeat that 3 more times, and hopefully that will repair all the leaks. Well, today's the day. We're getting ready to take the van up to get the repair done. Up early. Don't like getting up early. Here we go. So even though we trust these guys and have for a long time, this is not a good feeling to leave your van. This has been our home on the road for 4 months now, and so not having it at home, not being able to go do something with it if we want to, it doesn't feel good, but it'll feel good to get it back and for it to be perfect again. Okay, it's now Friday before Easter, and we are almost finished with getting the walls prepared to put the tiles on. Right now we're putting the tape on all the seams and we're mudding over that. Next step will be to put the floor down, And I see some places where it's coming up even right now. Dadgum, this is a never-ending thing. Any thoughts, dear?
No thoughts.
You have to have thoughts.
What do you think?
Looks like new. Let's get in there and pay him some money.
All right. Got it all cleaned up. It's nice and shiny.
I know, look at that. Well, I got to tell you, it's really, really good to get our van back. It feels like home. It smells new. It's awesome from that perspective. And we're pretty happy. And we're gonna make our first little trip in it right now.
So there she goes, all fixed and perfect. We're so excited to get her back.
Okay, I gotta say, it's good to have the van back, and it's good for it to be in perfect shape again. Look at this. You could never tell that we had a boo-boo back here at all, other than the fact that the words Revel are no longer on the van. Lynn said she likes the back of the van without the Sherpa and the box and the ladder, but I'm just not thinking that's gonna stay like that. And one of the advantages of having the van, and we love it, would be being able to go on day trips, go places that we want to go. So today, we drove the van to Winston-Salem, which is near our home, about 40 minutes away. And we're at Tanglewood Park walking Maggie. It doesn't always have to be a big thing you do with the vehicle for it to be something that makes you happy. You get used to having it, and you get used to it being part of your life. And especially this thing, it's our daily driver, and it feels good to be back out here doing this again. So something else you can do with your van, besides live in it, you can use it as a, cargo van, which is what we've done today, because we're remodeling our master bathroom. It just comes in handy. You can put enough tile for the walls and for the floors and the thin set and all the floors in the shower. Get it all in here. And then up in the very front. Hey, Maggie. Yep, Maggie's still up there.
So a lot of you have asked questions about the van repair, so we thought we'd take a few minutes to answer some of those questions.
So the first step, once we'd spoken to the highway patrolman and gotten through that whole process, was to take it in for an estimate. So we contacted Progressive, told them who we wanted to use, they okayed that, and we went to Mike's Body Shop in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and worked with Mitch, who is someone we work with a lot. Well, not a lot, but whenever we need body work, hit a deer, get a bump, anything else, he's the guy we go to, and we highly recommend him. So he looked at it. The rear quarter panel was smashed in and needed to be replaced. The rear bumper had to be completely replaced, and all the sensors that go along with the safety features of the van had to be replaced as well. And
Back door.
They had to replace both back doors because they were either warped or dented. They had to replace the Sherpa and the black box that was on the back of it. And that's all they had to do. Repaint it, get it touched up, and it was ready to go. So how much did it cost? $7,715, which is about $5,000 less than Mitch actually thought it was going to cost when we first.
But that was just for the van repair. That wasn't the Sherpa or the box or anything like that.
You're right.
You could see that we took everything off before we took it up there, so it would be clean. So that was just for the body repair.
Just the body repair. Some of you ask, how was the insurance company? What do you think?
I thought they were great. I mean, it's the best experience that we've ever had with them.
We have Progressive insurance for our van, and I got to tell you, we've had it for the longest time, and we've never had to use it. But when we did have to use it, we both were kind of like, oh God, I don't know what this is going to be like. But it was awesome. We dealt with an adjuster named Jeff out of Wilmington, North Carolina. He would call us every other day just about to make sure we knew what was going on, to make sure we were communicated with and that we understood the process. They okayed us to do everything that needed to be done to get it back up to 100%. They negotiated with the other driver's insurance because we were not at fault, so we didn't have to pay anything. Just definitely a thumbs up experience with Progressive, and I don't think we'll switch from them anytime soon because of that. Another question we get a lot is, how was it to be without your van for the 2 weeks it took to get it repaired? It was strange, wasn't it?
It was really strange, especially since we use it as a daily driver so much.
Yeah, and a construction van and
everything else.
I mean, if we go anywhere, unless Lynn makes me drive the Subaru, I hop in the Revel, and that's what I drive. And we just love it. So when you've been together for the longest time like Lynn and I have, when it gets time for Valentine's Day, which some of us call amateur love day, but when it gets time for Valentine's Day, you never know what to get. This year we were camping, and I looked around and thought, you know, I know what I'm going to give Lynn. For Valentine's Day this year, I'm finally going to tackle the project to remodel our bathroom and our master bath. And so while we waited on the van to be repaired, and many weeks after that, we remodeled our bathroom, as you saw just a little bit of. And so how did that turn out?
It turned out great, but it's the most I've ever had to work for a gift, I can tell you that.
You're right. It's the most I've ever had to work to give a gift to. And you know, it's an awesome addition to our home. You know, we tell you guys all the time, this is our home. We live here. This is where we come back to all the time. This isn't what others call base camp to us. You know, we have memories here, and we have our life is based out of this home, and we leave here and go see things, and being able to repair the bathroom and make it that much better. Well, I'll show you a couple of pictures before and after so you can tell what we did.
Okay, we should have taken a video of what our bathroom looked like before we took everything down, but here's the wallpaper. Here's the brown vanity. Here's our really pretty tub and our toilet with our burgundy floors. So let's see what this thing's going to look like when we get done.
All right, with that behind us and that beautiful bathroom upstairs that we can use and enjoy, what are we going to do during spring?
We're going on a trip.
Of course. We're working to pack the van so we can leave tomorrow on another trip. And we're going to head down to the coast of North Carolina and just explore. Take paddle boards, take our bikes, and just get out of here and go there. Yeah. That seems to be our theme. Get out of here and go there.
Yeah. So one of the things we'll share with you is kind of how we pack this time, because we had to take everything out of the van to get it fixed, so now we're cleaning it all up and we're putting everything back in it and trying to
going through and saying, do we really need this? Do we not need this?
Right.
This next trip, we're not taking the trailer. Many of you ask us about our little mini go trailer from Sundowner. We love that thing, but when you don't know where you're going, it's good to be as nimble as you can be.
It does.
But we're not doing without paddle boards, and we'll show you how we're accomplishing that in our next video too. So that wraps up this video, and we're really glad you're part of our journey. We hope that you never have to go into a body shop because something you care about, like your van or your RV, gets dinged up. But if you do, I guess we hope you have just as good of an experience with it as we did, because looking back, it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much scarier to go through. And we're just happy that we have her right over there and that we're going to get to go out in her again tomorrow.
All right. Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Let's go. Thanks for watching.